They put the noose around his neck. Hundreds of people watched. The trapdoor dropped. And then, something happened that nobody in that crowd ever forgot for the rest of their lives. The rope slipped. He fell straight through and walked away without a scratch, in front of hundreds of witnesses. The crowd went completely silent. Then someone started crying. Then someone started praying. The man looked up at the crowd, at the sheriff, at the judge, at every single person who put him there. And he said 7 words, "You will never hang me." And he was right. His name was Will Purvis. He was 19 years old. In 1894, Mississippi, a black man in front of an all-white jury had almost no chance. He was convicted of murder, sentenced to death. But Will Purvis said he was innocent, and he never stopped saying it. After surviving the hanging, Purvis was thrown back in prison to await a second execution date. He sat in that cell knowing they were going to try to kill him again. So he made a decision. He escaped. He broke out of prison and disappeared. Authorities searched everywhere. For months, nothing. Will Purvis had vanished, and the people who knew him, his neighbors, his community, they protected him because they believed he was innocent. Eventually, Purvis turned himself in. He was recaptured, but the public outcry was so enormous that the governor stepped in. His death sentence was reduced to life in prison. He had survived, for now, but he was still a convicted murderer, still behind bars, still innocent. The story exploded across America. Newspapers called it a miracle. Preachers called it the hand of God. People were divided. Some said hang him again. Others said if God spared him, man has no right to try again. The debate raged for years. In 1898, 4 years after his conviction, the new governor of Mississippi granted Will Purvis a full pardon. The gates opened. He walked out a free man. He went home, started a family, built a life. But the murder conviction still hung over his name, and the real killer was still out there. Then, 20 years later, everything changed. A man named Joe Beard was on his deathbed, and with his last breaths, he called for a priest, and he confessed. He admitted that he, not Will Purvis, had committed the murder. Will Purvis had been innocent the entire time. The state of Mississippi officially acknowledged it. Will Purvis, the man they tried to hang, the man they jailed, the man they convicted, was innocent. He had lost decades of his life. His name had been dragged through the mud, and the real killer died in a hospital bed. Mississippi paid Will Purvis $5,000 in compensation. $5,000 for a stolen life, for the noose around his neck, for years in prison, for the terror and the shame and the injustice. $5,000. He took it. What else could he do? Will Purvis lived to be 80 years old. And here is the part that will give you chills. He outlived every single juror who convicted him. Every last one. He watched them all go into the ground. The man they tried to hang buried them all. Will Purvis never got a real apology. He never got justice. Not really. But he got something they tried to take from him twice. He got his life. He got his family. He got to grow old. And every single morning he woke up was a day the system said he didn't deserve. This is Untold America. Real people, real injustice, real history. If this story hits you, follow right now. Because next week's story will make your jaw hit the floor. I promise you that.